What's up, everybody? It's your boy J.I. the Mass Creator, and I'm here with my boy
Richie's in the building, baby.
That's what's up. And on the screen, bottom left, my boy, like you know, he always on the go. His name is
Bad Go.
And our special guest in studio tonight, Mr. Vicissitude, John. What's up, John? And of course, the lovely lady on the panel. She's always here and is very opinionated. But guess what? Listen to what she say. You be all right. We have the lovely J. Nicole in the house.
Hello.
On the screen, joining us live as he does every time we come onto our platform. Always a man of distinction, a man who smells good, and a man that knows how to throw the gavel when you come with the bullshit. And that is our boy, the Diaz Teddy, the Hounds of Hell, the Sophisticated Grizz. What's up, Grizzly?
What's happening, people?
Not much. And joining us tonight, my boy Wes is up in the corner. What's up, Wes? How you doing tonight?
I'm straight. How's everybody doing?
Everybody doing fine. So first comment of the night. I was almost always. What's up, baby? That's my girl, Sheila. What's up, baby? How you doing? And she's saying welcome back. Yeah, and hello, everyone, because you know it has been loving the intro. Thank you, sir. But as we know, it's been a rough couple of weeks going around. But guess what? We back in town, so get ready, and we about to throw down. So as we do,
Hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta do it.
Oh,
go
you're
ahead.
not just CEO no more?
Oh, I'm so Slug Gang CEO. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad.
You call him Level Boy?
Slug Gang CEO.
Never got
Yeah, and she's the CFO. Something like that.
She got
There we go. Listen. Yes, doggy. Look, what I'm saying is, Vang, you look younger. What's up? You do something new?
I was just so busy that I needed to cut my hair. I needed to, get myself together because I've had some crazy things happen as far as the electrical field goes. Everything to people asking me to put up lights that don't have the parts that go to them. To basically, I think I said last time, people's house panels catching on fire. And, one lady called and said that her panel was just going bzzz, bzzz in the basement and was getting hot.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's a lie. You fucking with a white girl. I can tell. White girl. I can tell. That zzz was your dick, wasn't it?
No, not at all.
Unfortunately, right?
No. I got a call as late as 8:30 last night on a Sunday asking me where I was because some lady needed to put up a fan. I'm like, man, I got a whole website that you can go to and book these jobs on. Why are you calling me at 8:30 on a Sunday? I'm not coming out now to do it.
Never mind. I take it back. Man, back. You said 8:30 was late.
all right. Before I was so rudely interrupted, pick up the thing that you drink the most, love the most. We're going to do our toast to a good show. Clink, clink.
Drink.
Drink.
I got coffee.
Yes, sir.
It's whatever you love the most.
I apologize. I miss y'all.
We miss you too, bro. We miss you too, man.
But we haven't been here either, so everybody missed us.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to get into it now in our go round. But let's start on the screen with my boy, Diaz Teddy. So what you been up to since the last time we was in these podcast streets with you, my brother?
Man, I have been separating church and state. I have officially separated the Teddy Files page from the Sophisticated Grizzly page.
Okay.
And what that means is I'm about to bring the hounds of hell, and can't nobody survive this. It's going to be bad. So yeah.
Puff,
Yeah.
puff, boom.
So yeah, it's about to get ugly like bowling shoes out in these streets. So hopefully everybody's ready. Because
Wait a minute, I got a pair of Nike bowling shoes. They don't look like the other ones.
hey man, we talking about the in the alley that somebody else's feet done been in bowling shoes. Them motherfuckers, right?
Oh, you
Oh
talking
wow.
Yeah,
three
yeah,
colors of clown shoes?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah. But yeah, that's basically like just separating the content, making a brand new Grizzly page, things like that. So that's basically what I've been up to all weekend, and basically Greg, get some content together that's probably going to get me in some shit, but I'm ready for it now because you can't fuck up my fragrance content now.
And you know what? It was so funny because as soon as you usually post the Teddy file, I post it almost immediately. Even if I haven't watched it, I post it and then I'll watch it after I post it.
Right.
I went and posted your post today, and it wasn't even a Teddy file. It was your new intro to the Teddy file.
Right.
But I was like, hey, I'm gonna leave it because people
still
want
post
to see
Yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah,
still
that's support.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it, man.
So I got you. So what you been up to, Rich? What you been up to?
Man, I've been living, man. I've been trying to survive in these streets. That's not for me to survive in, but I'm here and I'm blessed. Thank God. Foremost. Say what you say, sir? I mean, fucked up already. Listen, so I decided to do something. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I am on a 14-day sobriety journey.
Okay.
Okay. There's no alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
no weed,
Mm-hmm.
just pussy.
Wow.
That explains everything that we need to know in that one sentence.
That's it. And I'll be honest, I am on day 6.
Okay.
I'm on day 6. I feel good. I feel goofy as shit because I don't know what the fuck to say no more.
Well, maybe that's good because some of the shit you were saying, you shouldn't have been saying.
I don't know what to say no more. Like,
But
God damn.
that means you have a filter right now.
I know.
Yeah.
Nope. Loved one told me, I don't know what's worse. You on drink or you off a drink. So I am not responsible.
For the words that are coming out of my mouth.
I am not responsible. Okay. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Plus something small wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all know that I've been vocal about this, that I'm on my own now.
Yes.
And I finally got a dresser.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing. Your goddamn table's still in my studio.
I know.
I need to get it out. I actually
Wait,
got
you didn't get the table out yet?
Shut up.
it's past
the door.
I didn't even notice it. That's what I was asking.
So
It's all good.
We getting it out of here.
It's all good.
we getting it out of here.
a nice table for you to
Listen.
have.
I got something. No,
So
no,
wait,
no.
so you've been living by yourself for how many months now? 3?
Right?
Like 3
January.
months?
Yeah, 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
It's April, bro.
It's not April yet.
What
April's
do you mean you're
tomorrow.
not alone? What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, April's tomorrow.
I'm giving him a bigger win than what he willing to accept.
Yeah, right. Like I was.
I mean, tomorrow
That's
be 4 months.
impressive. 3 months,
Right.
3-4 months. Yeah.
Tomorrow be 4 months.
Cool.
It's hot in here though.
His thing is not. Yeah, stop it.
You said what?
What you been up to?
Not so much, just working, trying to survive.
You're glowing.
Trying to figure out if I'm gonna get fired or quit. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, full-time
Okay.
supermodel. All right.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I'm old now. As soon as I put it out there that I was no longer doing boudoir
Oh,
and
goodness.
all of that.
Well, hold on to that.
That's
Hold on to that.
66.
Hold on to that.
Hold
Hold on
on
to
to
that. Hold on to that.
That's a good segue
Yeah,
for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, You got some good news.
I got
You
tons of
shoes,
shit.
boy. You want
Oh,
shoes.
these old things. These
You gotta get to the socks first.
Did that.
not the blue socks, bitch, right? So, the season 2 came out. Well, so new issue came out. You know, the phone's been blowing up all day, so we just, we have to put on mute. But yeah, that's come out. Also, there is an announcement to make. So, since we got Mondays covered here, and we got Wednesdays covered with Grizzly, I figured we just fill the gap with my podcast. Okay. So 3 weeks from tomorrow, we're gonna have the Midnight Disruption, and it's gonna come out every Tuesday night at 11:59 p.m.
Okay.
And it's gonna be a different format. Some breakup. It won't be always a variety, but it's gonna be different stuff. And I got a bunch of plans with that. So
I'll see it in the morning because I'm never.
Put me in the game, coach.
Listen.
Put me in
Listen,
the
we got
motherfucking
I got plans, okay? Couple.
You trying to go for the?
Well, here's the
what is it, the late night?
Well, here's the thing now. So it's not going to be always live, okay? So but the big thing that held it up, because this has been something we've been doing for like 5 years trying to get together. The biggest thing for me is I wanted to be everywhere. So this will be available on every single platform you get podcasts on. So Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, it's already set up. Day one, ready to go. Okay. And then we got Red Midnight coming out next Friday. Not this one, but next Friday. Okay. That's heat with that.
Okay.
We also have the final designs for the watches.
Okay.
So we may have to turn GMC into the home shopping network very soon.
Well, I need I don't know because you know.
Yeah.
You've been around about my watch collection.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I don't wear them here and I don't wear them to work because you break a crystal, you pay for a crystal.
I wear my smartwatch everywhere I go.
So
that's why all the watches have sapphire crystal.
Look, none of my watches is smart.
All my watch is smart.
Right.
So,
so the last design is done. We'll just wait for it to ship in and then we'll do that. And while all that was going on, I got a deal with a European company to do an entire shoe line.
Of course.
So not only are we doing kicks, we're gonna be doing shoes. We're gonna be doing those, but not those. These are tabs. These are not. And what I'm actually most excited about is we are going to be doing female shoes. We're gonna be doing pumps and stilettos and all that. So we can talk about that. We can definitely talk about that.
You can have the J. Nicole line on his. That would be wild.
Yeah.
Because it's all about collaborative.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nowadays.
So those things are coming up.
More line.
I didn't expect that contract to come through, but they're like, we need something done now, and I'm like, cool.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What's up?
For your podcast, though, right?
Yes.
Because I would like to be a guy.
I already have you on the list. I haven't told you yet.
Cool. I just want to know, dress code, right?
Yeah.
Do we have to wear dress capris? I'm just curious.
I mean, if that's
trying to see if you got a uniform.
if that's what you want to wear, you can wear that. Okay.
Welcome, my boy John.
What's up, man?
John made ready to do a dissertation.
And Mr. Watchman, I need you to fill this up, bro. Come on, I need you.
Oh, that's no problem.
I need you to fill it up, bro. Come on.
No problem.
Yeah.
You coming with the watches? I need it.
All right.
My watch collection ain't as extravagant as Jerry's, but I got a couple of them.
Since we got Grizz and vasectomy here and Miss Nicole, right?
Yes. I ain't said that nice.
Right.
I don't like this
I'm a nice guy.
version of you.
I'm a nice guy. Listen, I found something that y'all know y'all probably already been on. Y'all been on body scrubs already?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I know. Can y'all recommend me some good body scrubs?
She makes them.
She right there, bro.
You make men body scrubs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh well, body scrubs ain't got a gender, my brother. They you just scrubbing.
My bad.
What up, Eric? In the house. What's up, my brother Eric? How you doing? How you doing?
So you don't know
What's up, bro?
this month?
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with it.
This ain't.
This is so fun though.
It is
We
fun.
Good.
Just-
We good. Feel it.
It's very
So let us keep the show rolling. We got to. So we're going to everybody's. Well, we haven't been around to everybody's.
Yeah, just you.
Okay.
The fuck did that just hit?
No, that's God talking. Let him go.
You know what?
That just
That
hit.
is so apropos.
Maybe you
Bruh.
should talk.
That, because let's just say this
That
past
just
week.
touched something.
That
This
this
our cars.
It
you
touched
don't
something.
know. That's God trying to tell me something. He told me to bring my powder down 700%. So I'm gonna bring my powder down 700%. But what I can say is that over the last week, I've been almost bedridden, sick. No fault of my own, to the point where I canceled last week's podcast because I literally was bedridden.
Dang.
But we're not going to go into that till powder. But besides that, I did at the end of the week till like this weekend start to come back alive. And I actually finished editing the videos for Be More Flawless's rap cipher that happened here a couple weeks ago with Tim Trees was here, Mully Man was here. We had a lot of amazing guests that were here. And I mean, it was just a wonderful event. And I was shocked at how well, but it went really great. Also, I had the esteemed pleasure of being the videographer and photographer for Rachel Byers. Rachel is one of my dance daughters. So I've watched her since she was young on the stages of Baltimore Dance Tech to now teaching at Friends School and going for her master's degree in dance. And I actually did her master's degree presentation video for her this weekend or last weekend, the same day that we laid my father-in-law to rest. Like I left the funeral to go and be a part of this event, and just amazing talent. So I was blessed and I finished her video. Then I actually this weekend went to another one of my dance daughters, the one and only Tide Courtney Edwards. And if you don't know who Tide is, you probably heard about her because she has Ballet After Dark. Ballet After Dark is a program that has been made to give women the power back of their bodies.
JB, check your battery. Check your battery.
Which battery?
Your camera battery is down to 4 minutes.
Camera?
Yeah.
My camera should be plugged in.
Yeah, it says down to 4 minutes.
I mean, guys.
Oh,
There it is. There you go.
it slipped out the plug. We good.
We are avoiding all types of crisis today.
Yeah, you don't know. We avoid the crisis on all levels. But like I was saying, Ty Courtney Edwards, I did her Ballet After Dark. She actually had a documentary that was filmed about her program by Queen Latifah. And I mean, she's doing amazing things right here in Baltimore to give women the power back to their bodies through dance. And she also formed a dance company with some of these women who have been a part of her Ballet After Dark program. So I was doing some of the social media and some of the upcoming production behind the scenes videos for her this weekend. So it's been a very busy time for me because it got condensed because I was really sick. And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not going to one place. And we'll cover that in the next segment, which is coming up right now. So y'all get back, look, hold on to your cohort, hold on to your cojones, because I think this is going to be a good one. That's right, everybody. It's time for Flowers and Powder. If you're new to the show, true to the show, or nothing to do with the show. We are talking flowers and powder. And if we want to know what flowers and powder is all about, we're going to go to our bald man, the Amish king, up in the upper right-hand corner, our boy Van Gogh.
Goddamn, looks like a scrotum sack.
Oh my God.
I look like toilet.
Holy Jesus.
We're going to Van, and he's going to let you know what flowers and powder is all about. So go ahead. Go ahead.
So, Flowers and Powder is the segment of the show we do each week. If somebody's done something nice for you, you can virtually give them a flowers or a shout out just to say how much you appreciate them. But if you've got that one person that you took your car to Jiffy Lube to and they drained the oil and didn't put any oil back in it, yeah, go ahead and powder them hands off and smack the shit out that motherfucker.
Slap, grab, choke, shut up, bitch.
And so that is flowers and powder. So I'm going to start off flowers and powder. I'm sorry. I got to do this.
Hey, now.
Put yourself up to the big screen, bro.
I'm telling everybody, 100%. I don't care what you think of them. Do not go to Patient First anymore. Patient First almost killed my ass this week.
Damn.
Wow.
I went there and I had pressure in my ear. Pressure, not pain, no discomfort. It was just irritating pressure in my ear. I spent approximately 1.8 minutes with this woman, and she told me I had an ear infection, prescribed me medicine, gave me medicine, and I took the pill as soon as I got to my car. Once I got from my car to the studio, I was incapacitated to the point where I could barely leave the bathroom. It was coming out of both ends.
Damn.
At an alarming rate. I finally got myself together enough to cancel the podcast and go home, and then spent the next 7 hours doing the same thing to the point where my wife was concerned. But then she read the directions on the medicine and said, oh, you may have experienced some of these symptoms. Take another one.
What?
Now, no, because wait a minute, because that's what if you read it says you could possibly do this. Don't let it, distract you. Go ahead and take the medicine. I took the medicine, and within 6 minutes after taking the medicine, it elevated to another level of projectile everything.
Damn.
To the point where now my wife is rushing me to the hospital. Now, don't go to Johns Hopkins University emergency room.
Oh, hell no. Don't do that. Ever.
Ever in your life. If you want to go to a piss-infested, crazy person, lunatic bin waiting room of an emergency room, go there. I'm going to tell you, I usually go to Union.
Hopkins is a research hospital, so they do all kinds of.
I usually go to Union Memorial, never had a problem, in, out, diagnosed, never had a bad diagnosis, anything. So I didn't even get seen at Hopkins. After sitting there for hours, we left. I finally got my constitution enough that I could go home. Still doing the same thing. Not only that, it started to dissipate because now the medicine's getting out of my system, I guess. So I go to my primary care physician. If you have to go to any place in Johns Hopkins Network, please, the community physicians at Johns Hopkins, Remington, are the most amazing people that I've dealt with. I've been going there for over 20 years since it was Wyman Park, and they have taken amazing, excellent, immaculate care of me and kept me going. And when I saw the doctor, I'm not going to say her name because I don't have permission, she said out of her mouth, your ears are completely clear. You have no ear infection. So the whole idea is the medicine's looking for something to attach to, and it's nothing there.
Right.
So what does medicine do when it doesn't have something to attach to? It extricates from your body.
Right.
It's like, I gotta get out. So basically the medicine was like, I gotta go. And these are the only two orifices which you can get me out of.
No, there's others.
So now they want to. I'm still doing the projectile from body part number 2, but body part number 1 has subsided. And for the rest of the week, I'm trying to replenish, nourish myself to get myself healthy enough to do this. Grizz saw me on Wednesday. I couldn't even hold my eyes open. It was the most, it was horrible. So, welcome, Dawn. How are you?
Hi,
my love. What's going on, Dawn?
Thank God.
Here.
Thank God.
Hi.
God.
Hi.
And that's it.
Dawn.
Now, I have tinnitus. Tinnitus.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
That's all. So, and everything and all the medicine will not cure tinnitus.
Right.
You have to go to an ENT. They have to do certain things, and then you get a better, but you're never healed from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the whole idea, and let me put it this way. I'm sorry my powder was long, but I need this segment not to be this long because I really want to talk about the subjects tonight.
Okay.
If we have pertinent powder like mine, powder where you have to get it off of your chest, please put your church fingers in the air, and I will definitely I'm going right to you, Grizz. Thank you, my brother. Here you go.
It won't be long, but it's going to be strong. I'm tell you right now. So I got powder and flowers. I got flowers for the young brother that actually prompted me to separate church and state. The one who decided like a bitch to announce that he was leaving the Grizzly because he wasn't in agreement with my podcast. So thank you for the motivation, but fuck you, punk bitch, don't come back. So I'm cool with that. So from now on, like I said, now when I get on the Grizzly, I'm gonna actually be a goddamn grizzly bear. Ain't no more teddies.
Wait, was that guy from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa! I want to know.
No. It wasn't no real big problem, but he kept putting little barbs in the comments section about. I thought this was a fragrance thing. Is that a fragrance or is that something else? So he was making little side comments, and we're welcoming him into the stage, the 4th member of the GMC, our boy, the man, the myth, the legend, T. Scott T. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro?
Hey, John, wearing sophisticated.
Say what?
Say that shit no more. Who is that?
That's one of my makeup artists.
Don't do that.
Peace and love to all of y'all, but I got powder for the whole goddamn world right now.
All right, here you go. You said you had powder?
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Yeah. Starting with the Baltimore Department of Environmental and Human Development, or whatever the fuck they call themselves. Always sneaking down goddamn alleys just so they can charge people some shit. Yeah, I got problems with that. That's about it for now.
All right.
I'm gone.
That was quick.
Hey, man. No.
Wait a minute.
All right. Any more powder? John?
I don't actually have powder this week.
Okay. Look at the cat. The cat's like, whoa,
Tiger. What's up, dude?
You know what? That's why you going.
What's up, dude?
God damn, let me roll up.
Even the cat's a little shocked about that shit.
I really don't have any powder. I mean, Van and I had a wild fucking Friday night, but that
Oh man, just talk about it.
Okay.
because
Well,
you know the wrong thing, you know. So,
but all right,
you got
flowers?
The Grizz. I got flowers.
Grizz?
The Grizz.
All right. Well, we gotta bring us to the solo layout so they get
Okay.
a little bit better. There you go.
That cookie.
Thank you.
That cookie.
The new cookie is out.
The new cookie.
The new cookie is out.
I got it.
Yes. Yes.
I got it.
Why didn't I get my cookie?
They didn't make it home.
You weren't feeling well, brother. I had to make sure you got back to.
It made me feel better. I needed nourishment. I was dehydrated.
Hey, brother, the last thing you want to do is eat that cookie and then projectile that bitch. So
I could have stomached that cookie.
but I got you, bro.
I'd eat that cookie.
You know Rich is holding himself back right now. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Home and the box was sealed and it didn't make it.
just let it out.
Oh, they ain't make it home?
It's not count B in that.
And
And Jay is not making it even.
Shut up.
I know.
for the perfume,
Oh my
the
God.
Arabia, oh my stars.
All right, I'll put out a thing.
I like that.
That blueberry musk.
And I have flowers for my guy, not gonna say any names. He competed in an endurance race this weekend. He finished with 54
I don't think yours was a race unless you were trying to finish first.
I'll be trying. Sometimes it won't work.
It wasn't that type of
I'll just go with this tidbit. It's not really flowers or powder, to be honest with you, but it's just thanks to Van and I. Apparently, the manager at Pub Dog apparently basically had an orgasm because we bought her a megaphone.
Huh?
Yes. Of course, Van goes on fucking mute when I say this. There you go. Come on.
You bought her a megaphone.
Yes. So she uses a pink megaphone, if you remember, because she's the manager. She's like this freaking.
Oh, the little one?
Yeah, the little one.
Well,
so
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay, so there's a
Did y'all
manager.
do that trip
What trip?
to the bar dog?
To Pub Dog, yeah.
Y'all went?
Oh no. Oh, you're talking about TV
It's on
bar.
T-Bar.
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
That's
okay.
separate. Yes.
Okay.
My birthday weekend.
Yeah. So there's a manager there, and she's like what 5'3" Van, something like that. She has a small voice, very spitfire type of girl from Louisiana. She needs a pink megaphone to do last call. So she does that. So Van found while on the phone with me at the thrift store a giant silver megaphone, and I said, "You gotta buy it. I'll cash app you." So he ended up buying the megaphone,
And we painted it pink.
No, we just left it the way it is. We just gave it to her as it's like he almost forgot. I was like, "Yo, no, where's the megaphone? She's working tonight." So he went over, got it from the office, gave it to her, and we kid you not, girl lost the shit. Everybody started staring at us. All the staff members like, "Fuck, you got her a bigger megaphone." Like, damn it. That's amongst a bunch of things. Van, you're on mute.
So she jumped up and down and screamed and hollered and brought us shots and all kinds of stuff. And then the kitchen manager came out and he was like, "What are you so excited about?" And they were like, and she said, "They got me a new megaphone." And he just kind of turned and looked at the both of us like, "You motherfuckers!" Like,
in the morning again, damn it. So, we'll need the rest for next week because the rest was wild as well.
All right. So I wanted to get into our topic tonight because luckily we have photographers, and even though she is on an island right now, she is a model,
supermodel,
and the whole idea is that Van had brought up a subject, and I want Van to extrapolate on what he wanted to, because he's had this on his chest for 3 weeks. We've been trying to do this show for 3 weeks, and the last 2 shows have been canceled, both because of my family interests and things that I've had going on. I would like to say pay one more final respect to my father-in-law, Mac Allison, who passed away, in his services were the last week, and then this week was because of me almost dying, but we're not going into that anymore. But we just couldn't get the show off. And so I didn't want Van to think that I didn't think the show was important enough to figure out how to fit it back in. So the first show back, we wanted to make sure we got the subject. So Van, just give us a little bit of like
how this came about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was having a conversation with a young lady that I had known for a while, and she had always been hitting me up to like do a shoot, hang out with her, do a shoot, whatever, whatever, whatever. And for some reason, something just always told me, no, just kind of, back off. She's cool to talk to. She's like cool as a friend. But just kind of like, don't entertain the modeling part of it because one, she's not really a model. I'm not gonna say what she does because then that'll kind of give it away because she's like in a very niche market, I should say.
Social media, OnlyFans type of stuff. Because just from you saying that, I got that.
Right. So we were discussing how things should work as far as who should pay who and who should, do this and who should do that. And she actually said just shooting a model, especially if she's naked, is payment enough. And I'm like, no, if I don't shoot naked stuff, I don't need that. You have to pay me to shoot that stuff. I don't need it. I can't use it. And she was trying to say just seeing a model naked is payment. No, it's not. If I'm shooting content for you, you should be paying me for that because that's not what I normally do. Now, if I shoot fashion, then I'm paying you for those fashion shoots, but then I own those photos.
Correct.
So I can use those for advertisement on my stuff. That's what I'm paying you for. I'm paying you for the rights to those photos. She didn't seem to understand that. So then the whole topic came up about, I think that's why that a lot of these females on OnlyFans and stuff like that, I think that's ruining product modeling because they don't understand what product modeling is. When you sell an image to a magazine or a TV station or any kind of publication like that, they own the photos. You're not obligated to get photos at that point, especially ones that are already being published. That's why a lot of photographers have a time limit of up to 30 days, sometimes even longer, to give you photos back. Because if they're doing submissions, they have to wait till the magazine picks out what they want. John can testify to this. He owns a magazine. You have to wait for the magazine to pick the photos that they want, and then the model can get the ones that didn't wind up in the magazine. That's how it works out. She didn't understand that, and she was trying to say, I was unprofessional because the model should always retain the rights of all of their images. No, it doesn't work like that. And that's why I was like, you know what? There's something that told me not to shoot with her, and my gut instinct was right because I'm glad I didn't. Because if she doesn't understand just those basic rules, the rest would have been way more complicated.
That bitch pissed
Okay,
me off.
so this is what I want to go into because I am on about 4 different levels of photography, and so I want to make it clear. There are 4 different ways you work with me. One way you work with me is through a connection. Connection with me means that we have mutual parties who have agreed that we work together for something that they need. So if that's the case, that party is paying me to do a service or work for them that you're privy to. Then if they deem it okay to allow you to have those images, then it's what they say. Then the other level is professional modeling, and this is your client. That means you walk in the door, you've paid my deposit, I am doing your photos, you've paid my fee, and you get access to the images. You get a certain amount of images to pick to be edited, and the other images will not be edited. And I put in my contract, they are not to be edited by anyone else. And you have access to them because you paid me, and I give you access to all of your images. Third level, professional model. Professional model comes in, someone is paying them to do a service for them, which is modeling. I take pictures. Those pictures go to the person who pays me. And they have 100% control over those images. And if the model sees them, they do. And if they don't, it's up to them to release them. Fourth level, TFP. That means we both agreed that we want to shoot with each other. We both have decided that we can be mutually beneficial to each other. You as a model, me as a photographer. And this is where I think everything goes to shit. Because once you're in the TFP realm, there's a difference how every photographer works. They trade for photos, trade for performance, trade for pictures. They work it differently. I am a photographer who says, hey, I'm going to give you every image because I have nothing for these images to go for what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you all of these images. You get to pick a set number of images, predetermined, that I will edit for you to use at your will. And if I need any of these images for anything forthcoming, upcoming, or everything, I can use them. But I've also told you how I will be using them before.
Right.
It's not like I'm just going to put you in a risque magazine because we were doing artistic nudes and you show up in a risque magazine,
right,
and I've not told you that.
Right.
No, that's not how it works.
Right.
Every level of what is going to be done is done on that level. And
right.
Those are the 4 levels I work at. And a lot of times what happens is my TFP is not what other people say is TFP.
Right.
Other people say, oh, we'll shoot and we'll do these 4 outfits and I'll give you the images that I edit.
Right.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
That's how you work. And that's what people don't need to understand. You need to have a clear basis and a clear idea of what's expected, what's going to be promised, and what's going to be delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And where the murky water comes in is because somebody thinks that because they've gotten all their images, that all those images need to be edited. Or I didn't get any of those images. And the whole idea is if you're doing trade and you don't get any images, you shouldn't shoot with that photographer ever again.
Fair. Yep.
Right.
There's no trade if he's holding
there's no trade.
all the images. So I just want to go around the table and not just here, but virtually, the virtual table, and see where, these levels that all of us operate on that can confuse or that can pinpoint how we can end that confusion. Because I don't care if you come to me and okay, last thing I'm going to say, and then we're going to open up the forum. You do OnlyFans. I do not have an OnlyFans. I do not look at OnlyFans. I do not care about OnlyFans. So if you come to me and all you want is OnlyFans content, you have nothing for me to benefit from. So if you come to me and I say I'm going to shoot TFP, I want outfits, fashion, beauty, I'm not even a big boudoir. I'm more like fashion, beauty, and swimsuit fashion. That's what I want. So and they know that. So if I'm not getting those things, then how is that a TFP?
Right.
Let's go through some of these comments that we got Well, I think we put that up there. Okay. Some photographers only give like 10 photos. That's not a bad thing. If the model knows in advance that that's what you're doing, that's fine.
I'm trying to bang out with 11 pictures in their system.
They should pay. Anthony, can you expound on that so we know what you mean by they should pay? What level should they pay for?
I think for no matter what's going on, and I think the biggest problem with TFP is that for some dumb reason, a lot of suppliers off the counter, they do not do proper contracts. They do not do any agreements. They think TFP should just be a verbal thing and that's it. And it's like, no, that's not how that should go. No matter what happens, I don't care what it is, I always have some sort of agreement in place, depending on what the customer or whatever it is. It's simple as that.
Okay, we got the comment back from Anthony. For OnlyFans content,
Yes.
I agree only to the point that is what the industry standard should be. But can I be honest?
Yeah.
You know why I shoot TF content for some of my OnlyFans models? They can't afford me. And I know that's not always a good thing, but the whole idea is that if they're going to be doing that and I know them as a personal friend, I want them to have great content. And if they this is the whole idea.
Right.
I'm going to get my fashion and beauty. I'm going to get them in what I need them to do.
Right.
As well as give them that.
Right. It's not one.
So it's not one-sided.
Right.
But if it becomes one-sided where all of a sudden they got to leave real quick after they do their OF content and they can't do my stuff, they won't be back.
Right.
So, but if you're only doing exclusive OF content with me and you don't allow me to allow, like, I mean, I've got to get something from that content.
Right.
And if I'm not using that content, which every model knows, if you've ever been nude or done anything erotic in front of me, I have never ever used that content or anything that is has my name attached to it, because that's not what I do.
All right, so look, here's what I think. Okay. Stop shooting your friends. And this is just my opinion, not everyone else. This is Rich Hunt's opinion. Stop shooting your friends, because I just had an issue with that. I was told when I gave someone a price, ain't no way such and such is paying that in all the photos that you taking of her. And I was like, well, nigga, you not such and such. And I had to realize, like, oh, they talking.
Yeah.
They talking. No, nigga, that's my nigga. That's my nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You not getting the same shit that she's gonna get. Nigga, I don't fucking know you.
Right.
Okay? So that's one. And then it dawned on me, like, damn, nigga. So I had to send a message like, hey, I know we've been rocking, but guess what? You're a client now. I can't
here's
be
the thing.
having that shit.
But
Did
see,
you
that's
have
the whole idea.
Can't have that shit.
I rarely have a person who I've shot TF who hasn't done client work with me.
And also,
eventually they know the worth of your work and they're willing to pay for it.
Too little shit where they need to pay for OnlyFans shit. Back to
Like-
what you were saying is, if they can't afford you, nigga, you shouldn't be fucking. Just like the
Okay,
same.
OnlyFans sucks.
Huh?
Didn't you get paid for that?
Yeah,
Wait a minute,
just,
wait a minute.
Just
Hold
like,
on.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
Just like if you work with a TF photographer and they don't give you photos, never shoot with them again. If they can't afford you, don't fuck with them.
Okay, and that's perfect, and that's how most people have to work. But do you know how many dead hours I have in a studio that you own?
right.
So for me, it's not and when I work with those people, they're coming in when nobody else is booked.
Right.
When I can actually do something and do
Right.
something creative, i.e. what I want, and do something that they want,
Right.
i.e. OF.
Mhm.
And that's because I own the studio. But if I had clients that were paying for that time, they wouldn't get a free shoot.
Now, Rich, did you have an NDA?
Yes.
So why aren't you suing them?
Who, me?
Yeah. Did you have an NDA?
Oh, you
with
talking
that
about
person?
my friend?
Yes.
No.
You need to have an NDA.
I thought you said that by having like.
No, you need to be giving NDAs to people like that.
Rashette King, that is an amazing comment. But you know who's been here all night and I haven't heard from him is my boy Wes. Wes, what do you feel about all
Let's
this?
see, Richette.
Yes.
Rashette.
Don't disrespect my hairstyle.
Yeah, it's gotta be mutually.
What did you
Can you hear
say?
me?
Hey, yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
it's got to be mutually beneficial. If I shoot that, I mean, just like you were saying, you have them do a couple other things, and then you'll do what they would like to do for the session itself. But it's got to be a mutually beneficial. I did a shoot about a month ago where it was 4 photographers and 4 models, and it was paid. And so the models who I guess they were newer thought that they should get all of the pictures as well. And one of the photographers explained, "Hey, you were paid, so that means that you're not getting pictures. Your payment is your pictures." And she was like, "What are you going to do with the pictures?" So it doesn't make a difference. You're paid. So she kind of put it on Instagram for a second, but then we had a dialogue, the group of us together, and then she pulled it back down and she apologized for her hyper sensitivity over it, but she hadn't had that experience because she had shot with, I guess, an ad company before and they had given her a few pictures. I said, well, we're open to giving you a few pictures, but you're not going to get all the pictures and be paid. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Hey, Wes,
Right.
do me a favor. Turn your volume down a little bit. It's kind of muffled. I ain't hear all the words.
Oh, you know what? I have my Bluetooth on, so maybe that's the
It's
problem.
Bluetooth. That's fine.
Oh, Bluetooth. Okay.
Yes. But no, but see, that's fine. And I want to go to Dawn because Dawn, I mean, she is way selective about how and who she works with when she even adventures into shooting models. So, I mean, what is your take on all this?
Hi, Dawn.
Hi, my lovelies. Miss all of you. So I fall into a weird category with this whole conversation because I'm a female. And maybe it's not weird, but my experience is so much different than what you guys deal with on a regular basis. Van, I just want to make sure I'm clear in what your story was. Is that did she reach out to you first or did you reach out to her first?
No, she had reached out to me. Like I said, we had been friends for a while, just talking in general back and forth.
Okay.
And I had never shot with her before because I knew that's not something she normally did. She was more like a performance artist or whatever. And then, she never really did any modeling. Like she had never been published, she had never been in a magazine. And then she comes to me with her idea of how it should be. And I was trying to explain to her that's not how that works.
Okay,
But
so you guys weren't actually working together. She was just telling you how she viewed how it should work if you did work together.
right.
Okay.
I was like, I haven't been doing this, so no.
Right. So, and then what I gathered from your statement was to her, as far as she was concerned, you seeing her naked was beneficial to you. So you both got something out of the deal.
Right. And I was like,
Okay.
that's not payment because I can't do anything with that. I'm
Yeah. No, I
literally
mean,
one of the people that are trying to
you're
put
right.
people in clothes.
Yeah, you're right. So here's where the ugly area comes in with the I don't even want to call it model world because she's not a model. The problem is that there's so much information out there, but there's no rule book. And we've talked about this before. There's no one place anybody can go and it says, here's how a model's supposed to function. Here's how a photographer's supposed to function. These are all the etiquettes. There's just no rule book for that. Um, and because of that, everybody makes shit up along the way. And this is where we end up with our GWCs is because they figure out how to get away with it. You know,
Right.
they figure out, hey, she'll take her clothes off if I pay her money. hey, she'll take her clothes off if I give her photos. And eventually the models figure out real quick whether they want to be that person or whether they don't want to be that person. And some women will leverage it in their favor. And you know what? If they leverage it in their favor, so fucking what? They figured out how to leverage it. It doesn't make it right. It just makes it a business opportunity for them. Now, the problem is the narrative's always going to be that way. There's no way for us to clean it out of the industry because it's already there and there's a supply and demand for it.
Right.
So it's never going anywhere. It's and kind of like what Jerry said about I'm selective. I am selective, but I'm selective on purpose because what ends up happening, like a good example would be I went to a studio 2 weekends ago, and I knew when I went, it's an event. It was a minimal dollar amount for me to go, so it made sense for me to go. It's a studio that I like, but I knew going into it that I had 4 people that I wanted to work with that day. If I worked with anybody else, it was bonus. But 4 people, when I walked in that front door, I knew who I was working with. Now, because it was a group event and it was a TFP event, even though we were paying to use the space and have access to the space for the day. I got some really great shots. I have not edited all of them because that's the story of my life.
See, but this is the whole idea. When you do get to edit them, they're gonna be fine.
Yeah, they will.
That's the
yes. Well, but so that's exactly it. So that's where that whole value thing comes in that we talk about very often. Who has the value in the situation? That was why I was asking, like, who brought it up. So it wasn't so much that she wanted to work with you. It was just that her version of what you do is skewed. And even with product photography, like I'm doing content this weekend, like UGC style content this weekend for God, what the hell's the name of the company? Adrenaline Research Labs. So I'm just going to be blowing shit up this weekend. So I just have to take video and stuff of it. But I get a whole spiel that says I have 2 weeks to create 3 reels for Instagram. And I had the option of making like a TikTok video as well too. But I don't think that stuff does as well on TikTok as it does on Instagram. And then I'm not allowed to cuss. It has to be something kind of thoughtful. It has to look like we're just naturally using the exploding targets. So anybody who's actually in it and has experienced it knows that there's these rules and these guidelines. If you're a professional at what you're doing, there's always going to be a market for the fact that sex sells.
Right. So I want to go to Jay because Jay is our only model on the panel.
Shit.
And
with all her gorgeousness.
But
we can't talk.
Well, see, this is the hard thing because anybody who's worked with Jay, and I don't want to toot horns or anything, but if you work with someone who works and who has the experience that Jay has, it's on a different level than working with somebody who just like wants pictures. So what I want to do is I want you to tell them what it's been like because hold on.
I got one for you.
I want you to talk about how when you made your transitions in modeling from different levels and where you feel you are in your modeling journey, how things change for you.
Tell us how you transition.
Right now, I'm a senior citizen. Like, yeah.
I mean, she ain't lying, but still. You technically are, but that just
let her talk. Go ahead. Thank you. Go ahead.
I mean, it's kind of because when you get paid for a shoot, yes, that photographer has all the rights to it. At the same time, it's like I was kind of pulled away from work for this. Like I do want to do this, but at the same time, makeup is a lot, hair is a lot, getting there is a lot. So it's kind of like, do I want to do this as a TFP, putting all of this energy in on this side, especially if you come to me with a concept and okay, love the concept, but I don't have these items. Now I have to go purchase these items to make that creation come to life, which never came to life. And it's still sitting there too. Yeah, so it's just like you try to want to recoup that back, but then knowing that if you accept payment, that person now owns those pictures, and you can't really do much with it. So it's like I don't want to just.
So that's exactly the rub every time people talk about TFP. And I even see this even in the media side of the stuff that I do with like the action photography and videography. There's so much for both sides expense wise. Um, like
Mm-hmm.
this year I'll be working with some drivers, and because I'm still learning, I'm like, look, if you guys can cover some of the expenses, I don't need you to throw cash at me. I just need you to cover some of it so that I have access. That access sometimes is more valuable, than tossing cash at something.
Right.
So I get that because you have an expensive makeup. How long did it take you to do your hair? You had to travel to where you were going to. Your costuming, if you don't already have whatever it is you guys have discussed. Whereas, like, I know sometimes Jerry and Van, you guys are supplying what they're wearing.
Yeah.
So that's a benefit if you're doing TFP. In my situation, a lot of times, like if somebody, depending on who reaches out to who, sometimes is how I handle a situation. But there are some models that will always have free access to me because they're how I got started. So
Right.
if they have an idea, fucking tell me your idea. If I love it, let's do it.
Right.
I don't care what the expenses are.
And the whole idea is that, but see, that's a different level because you, like I said, there's so many different levels to this. Because if Jay and I come up with a concept, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna bring in such and so to do your makeup. I'm not expecting Jay to pay that. I'm gonna pay for the makeup. If I go, oh, all right, oh, so she's gonna do your makeup. Okay, well then I got the outfit. Like it's got
the outfit.
So
what are you talking about?
so the whole idea is that
I-
with somebody who is like, and I don't use this word loosely, and I don't want it to be used loosely. So I'm just gonna brush over the word muse. But when you have somebody who you worked with on a continual basis for years, like I've worked with Jay, she has been one of my muses. She has formulated different ideas for me, and we work together. And when we work, we don't have to take 800 pictures to get the 40 that we need. And it went from
Because I'm trying to nail the first time because I hate doing stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over.
But the whole idea is that when you work with somebody on that level, it's different than if you're working with a new model, and then there's the potentials. And nobody ever talks about the potentials, the people that you look at and you see their potential, but you've also seen the shit work that they've gotten from other photographers.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, I have
Because there are photographers who they have gotten naked in front of, they have done boudoir with them, they miss the beauty of putting them in a beautiful outfit or a beautiful setting or a beautiful.
Well, there's a flip side to this though too, because one of the other things that I've had happen is I've had some models that haven't actually been great at modeling, but they look like a model online because they've worked with really, really good photographers.
True.
And then when you work with them in person, they're just like chaos and all over the place. No slow modeling is happening. It's just like eyes, head, and you're like, what is happening right now? But you see these long, beautiful photos like where they're like their whole length is being used and they have this great outfit on, and you're like, somebody styled all of that. That's what happened there. It happens, and it happens on both sides of the fence.
Right. And I've had that happen before too. I'm like, where is all that beauty that I saw in those images? And I realized that it was a team effort. And then you got, like Anthony said, there are reasons why photographers stay to a small group. You build trust and professional relationships.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like, go ahead.
I have a scenario. Nothing came of it, so didn't win. But I was still thinking like, how should I have handled it had it actually happened? I entered a contest. I used images from a TFP. We both had a clear understanding of what this was. When they found out that the pictures we used And the contest's cool, no problem. When I found out that there was a cash prize, then the messages came. I'm entitled to this. Did you give them this of mine? Did you give them that? I had to because that was one of the requirements in signing up for the contest. So
Was
yes,
it in the contract?
Yeah, was a contract involved?
No.
That's
well,
the problem.
then they did not follow through because they can't put caveats on something they gave you clear and utter usage of. Because once a photographer releases edited images to a model, they are relinquishing that control to you to do with what you want at that level.
Right.
And you could say in a court of law, Judge, I didn't edit these images. They were edited and given to me from the photographer.
Right.
To
But
use
TFP
at this
stands-
level.
It says it right there.
Trade.
Time for pussy. I mean, Prince.
Trade.
Wow.
Time, trade, or whatever.
Yeah, time, trade, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's there.
That's why you have to shower. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Was it one time? But it was just more so. I don't
That's the
know.
thing. I think there's
It
not
was
enough
a
due diligence with anybody. That's the biggest problem. Like, we need to build relationships, and that's not happening. And then you, on top of that, people aren't making contracts. People aren't going and getting lawyers because they're being cheap about it. Like,
Well, so I don't do a contract, but there's a reason I don't do a contract.
okay,
If we're all going into it going, we are spending our time for this.
right,
I know that I'm not going to see their OnlyFans. I know that however they're going to use whatever they're utilizing, I'm not going to know that they're monetizing it, and I'm sure it's happening.
right.
So I could go after it if I really want to, but I catch a lot of shit for making sure my watermark is on everything. If somebody's smart enough or savvy enough, they can get rid of it, sure.
Right.
But part of the reason I do that is because if it gets shared, my name's on it. It's going to come back to me in some way, shape, or form. But if we both gave up our time and our resources and you're smarter than I am to monetize it better than I am, you know what? You own your business sense at that point.
No, I mean,
that's
I'm
fine.
with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I completely.
When I first came here,
Yeah.
Jerry used to give me shit about these watermarks.
No, I never gave.
I didn't give a fuck. I'm putting Rich Hook on everything.
I have never given anybody shit about you.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
I always use this as my point of reference. Have you ever seen an Ansel Adams with a watermark? Have you ever seen a well-known photographer's image with a watermark?
No.
The reason why.
Well, they also weren't in the digital fucking age either. It's not like, like the.
Come on, man.
I understand that, but guess what? You just said, because Don, I don't care how good a watermark you put on a picture. If you bring it to me, I will get rid of that bitch.
Right.
Well, sure, and that's fine, but there's also metadata. If you're smart enough to use your softwares, there's metadata in everything that you have. Thing is, we're in a society that doesn't give a fuck. So unless I'm like heavily doing something in business where it's an issue if somebody gets a hold of my shit, which most stuff that's out there anymore is considered common property once it hits the public socials anywhere. It's Creative Commons for a lot of places. And we're not sitting down and reading all these terms and conditions for these social things that we're on.
Nope.
So it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. Do I want to stress myself out over a contract, which, hey, if I need one, if I'm working with a large company and there's licensing involved, abso-fucking-lutely. Right. But for the random person that I met at an event, I don't care.
Right. I wanna touch on what Dawn just said about the social media sites or whatever. A lot of people still don't understand and still don't realize that when you put stuff on Facebook, that's property of Facebook now. I don't own it. You don't own it. Facebook owns it. That's part of their terms and conditions. So when I see these posts all the time of people putting up these posts about, I don't give Facebook permission to do so and so, that's not going to do anything. Part of their terms and service of being on Facebook is that anything on Facebook belongs to them.
Hold on. People have sued Facebook and won. Because the whole idea is just like Don said, they have metadata that prove that they made that image before it went on Facebook. they edited the image, and the metadata shows that the image was edited before it went on Facebook. And Facebook is a medium where you are allowed to share. If they took the word share out and said that this is a place for you to post and put images up, then you can attach yourself to it. But because they said share, people have won legal contests against Facebook because it said share. So you always own your images no matter what Facebook says. They've lost court trials because they have said share. So don't let that scare you from sharing. Just always remember you have the original.
Like I said, my whole thing is I don't care if it's small or large. In my line of work, being the magazine owner, I'm covering my ass. I'm putting a contract in front of everything, whether it's free.
Absolutely, as you should.
Right, so in my case, it makes perfect sense. I can see why it doesn't make sense to some people, but it's one of those cautious things that, I always just tell people, just cover your ass, read everything. It may take you 20 years to read it, but just read it. They can wait if it's important to them. But my other big thing that we didn't really touch on that I did get angry about when Van told me this is I don't like the idea that there are women and there's been male models I know, but unfortunately it's mostly women. I don't like the idea that there's women out here that paint this picture that apparently photographers are mostly men. Huh?
Cut your phones down.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's the magazine going off. I'm so sorry.
Look, that's his only thing.
I wish I had OnlyFans. So
I would be rich as shit if I had OnlyFans.
Right. So my biggest thing is I don't like the idea that particular woman that he's talking about, and I've had it happen with me and a lot of other people I know. There are women out here that actually paint a picture that apparently for most male photographers are just guys that want to see women naked because they can't see them otherwise.
Yeah, that's the question I wanted to ask. Like, why do they assume that these men have never seen a naked woman?
It's not an assumption. It's not an assumption, guys. It's based on their experience. So
and it's based on the talk in the local industry, and that's all over the country. Any little pond all over this country, they're talking the same stuff. So like Dawn said, it's not really an assumption when everybody is saying it.
But I think the thing for me was just more so a thing of you're assuming that I'm lucky to see you naked.
Right.
So, and I'm lucky to see you naked, so that's your payment. I've seen thousands of women naked. You're not the first naked woman I've been with, seen, took a picture of, thrown a rock at. You ain't the only one. Like, so I mean,
we are not throwing rocks at women. Stop it.
It's not
I have thrown a rock.
Unfortunately, and this is my personal experience, even being a photographer when I used to do it full time. I have seen fellow photographers that are darker than me that literally sit there. Yeah, I know. That's the point, though. That literally get painted a picture. Oh, you just want to see this naked woman, and you want to. That's your payment. Like, women really be thinking. Not everybody, but it paints this picture for women that are real models like her and others. Like, hey, they're just prostitutes. And they're just showing their body to men that are willing to take photos for them, especially if they get paid.
So look at this. Look at this way, right? Because it's not bashing women, right? Because I'm gonna speak for myself. I love women. All right. Of
course.
But however, I do know there's something called pretty privilege. And sometimes it goes to the head. So when
I agree.
When they say things like, oh, it's an honor for you to shoot me naked, like, no, it's not.
And the messed up part is that particular woman is ugly as fuck that you talk about. Okay? Listen.
You knew he was gonna go there. I don't know why y'all thinking
that girl confidence was real strong with that one. Okay?
So I think the hard part with all of this is, again, everybody plays their role and they play their part. And even like Charles just said, it's not an assumption. It gets exploited. So and I agree with pretty privilege. It's definitely a thing. So what ends up happening is you have some people who end up in a status of everybody trips over themselves to get to them and do for them and all those sort of things, that their assumption, and then it's an assumption, is that everybody should do that. Like it's a requirement if you want to deal with me, you know, whatever that is.
Right.
Go ahead, Van.
But the thing that cracks me up about the whole thing is I understand the stereotype and I understand the word that's going around. But that's not hardly the case with a lot of people. It's kind of like, I guess, the old adage that, you know, if you're a photographer, like you're a creep or you just want to see women naked, to me would be the equivalent of saying that black people have tails. That's not true. That's not true at all. You got to separate that and realize who you're with.
But there is a place where it's true, and that's the problem. There is a space where it's true and it's valid and it's happening, and that's what I mean by supply and demand. You and I could, you know, photograph people all day long. I am also another one where I don't give a shit about nudity. I'll shoot it. Not a problem with it. I'm comfortable in my own self. I'm comfortable around other people. But what ends up happening is people want me to do that kind of content because I'm a female. Right. And they want that kind of content for whatever it is that, you know, they're doing on their end. I stopped doing people photography for a little over a year now, because I got tired of being in the drama. I don't have any space in my world for it. And I will set boundaries. I don't have any issue with that. But what I'm really tired of the most is, oh, well, we have to cancel this place because of this person. We have to cancel this thing because this thing happened to somebody else. I'm not saying those things didn't happen, but we're going to run out of places to go and things to do the more we cancel everything.
Yeah. And right quick, because Anthony posted this, but if you look at a photographer's page, you see the type of photos they shoot. 50-50, Anthony, because I am not a social media person. So if you base what I do off my social media, you think that all I do is half-naked women and people who are scantily clad. But if you ask from my personal website, that's 99% not what I do. Right. But what I do is I repost everything people post, and for some unknown reason, the girls who are scantily clad and think that they're beautiful post the most. So I repost it. Right. If the people who I did the beauty shoots, who I did the fashion shoots, who I did the hair shoots, who I did the amazing shoots that I do for people who are fully clad, posted them and tagged me, they would be on my page more. True.
So, but
this proves one thing, though. I mean, it really just proves one thing: Simps are ruining the damn world. They really are. They're ruining the damn world because you can't even take a professional picture where you're going in and trying to be a professional without having some fool having to be afraid of some fool trying to exploit or take a picture of you or try to do whatever the hell it is. And so other photographers who really want to do the job, who really want to actually make this happen, you have people out here like the young lady that talked to Van, like Don was saying. Van, look, she may have had those situations where somebody told her that she was the top of the line, like, you know, the cream of the crop. And now she's walking around thinking that every man is supposed to pay just to see her naked. And, you know, and then when she runs across somebody that's seen other people naked, then she got a problem.
And it's so weird because John just told me she got herpes. So I'm
so you want to hit that? Go ahead. So, okay, Charles. Here's the thing. I don't believe you're saying that. Well, you thank you. So you're saying that's why many models refuse to do TFP because of nudes? Like, listen. Here's the deal. The model needs to do her due diligence. She should not be doing nudity for free any fucking way. Let's get that out of the fucking way.
Well, this is the difference.
You get that payment.
People trust me.
And
they will do nude with me because they trust me and because I don't use
You
it.
can't do nothing with it. You can't use it.
As if like, yeah, well, like he's just basically saying like most dudes like
No.
hit him up. Like, no, that's not.
People who pay for nudes want to see nudes.
Right, exactly.
If you come
So
to me,
I want to touch it.
if you come to me, right quick, if you come to me,
right,
and you have an idea for a shoot,
right,
and you say, "Well, I'm going to be nude," I don't care.
Right, of course, that's fine.
But I'm the minority in that group,
of course,
because I don't know anybody who say, "Well, I'm gonna have to still charge you $80, $100."
All right, I get that. I think he's referring to just guys that are like the way it comes off. The comment comes off, but you tell me if I'm wrong, Charles. You just respond. But like the way it's coming off is basically it's basically sitting there. You know, most guys are just flat out saying, "Hey, I want you to do nudity for me, and I ain't paying you." That should never be even a sentence in this industry.
So I think I have some feedback on that. I don't think that's what he's saying. I think what happens is, and I've seen this happen, and I've been in the background of like conversations where it's happened. A lot of models will go into doing TFP, and then they have to deal with the person that goes, "Oh, well, you should just take your top off. Could you unbutton a couple of things real quick?" They go into it, huh?
That's when you walk out. If you're a model and you're not comfortable,
Yeah,
walk out.
that's fair. That's fair. However, when models are at the beginning stages of learning a lot of the way some of this stuff functions, they don't get paid up front. They don't get paid a deposit. So they try to get through the process as simply as they can without ruffling feathers so they get paid at the end, especially if it's paid already. Now, if they're going into TFP and this happens, some people will go with it because they think it's part of the process or somebody's told them it's part of the process, which is why we have so many situations that become so awkward or uncomfortable. But I wanted to touch on what Jerry said about the people who tag him and stuff are usually, you know, the ones that are more scantily clad. There's a reason for that. They know that it's going to get them the attention that they need for their social media and whatever they're selling. I mean, I posted a behind the scenes photo that my butt profile was in, and everybody lost their shit. And that's why I don't usually have a full body photo on my platform. It's usually just like waist up.
All that wagging you dragging, girl.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Listen.
She's talking about the what? Come on, Dawn. She's talking about the wagon, Dawn. We all know about the wagon.
I love you guys.
Be proud. Be proud.
You said yourself.
Don't do exactly what she was doing.
Yep.
Well, so here's the other thing. You know, we're talking about the fact of like, you know, just like even the model world. If one more man asks me for a selfie, you're gonna see me on the 6 o'clock news. There's certain things that happen on a regular basis that so many people don't see. If I get sent one more unsolicited dick pic, again, I'm going to be on the 6 o'clock news because I'm just so tired of the poor etiquette.
Damn.
You say you tired of looking for the etiquette.
I can't.
The etiquette episode 2-3 weeks ago. That's a whole other episode just on that one subject.
I mean, it's like for me.
People still do that now.
Yeah, they
Yes.
They do.
They at least do it to me still for whatever reason.
People
That's just send you dick pics.
Yes, guys have sent me dick pics on the business.
Yeah, they
yes.
Look, they sent them to me mistaken that I was the model that I posted.
It's not purple.
I believe that. I believe that.
Nigga sit there like that.
That's crazy as hell, man.
Yeah, they sent them to me and asked me to send them pics back or whatever. And you know, I'll send them a photo back of me like shaving or some shit, and then they get pissed off. That's not what I wanted to see. Well, you didn't read my profile to see I was a dude. Now you got a picture of me shaving, motherfucker. That's what you did.
I'm about to just like start sending them an invoice for the fact that they're wasting my time.
You should. You should.
That's what's gonna happen.
So, like I said, like even on the post when I sent out the post for this video, for our live and for our podcast, we're never ever going to solve this.
Nope.
Because the problem is there's a lack of respect for the industry. There's a lack of respect for the art. There's a lack of respect for what we do as photographers and as creatives that will never allow us to get to the point where it's the true art that we're seeking. There are so many caveats and people that are in between the cracks that everything that we do, they circumvent it and make it a little harder and make it a little more difficult for us to police, clean, and make what we feel is pure art work. So,
Right.
Well, I think if we stay professional, as we all are, and we do the things that we know are right, at least our world can be right. And then there's setting boundaries and being firm, because I will be the first one to put somebody in their place if they're not coming correct, whether that's at a photo shoot, whether that's in person. I don't give a fuck, because I am so tired of people being rude. And I'm done with it. If you're going to be rude, I'm going to be rude back to you. And I'm a really nice fucking person.
So that's what I was thinking about the whole time we was having this conversation. Is like, I don't give a fuck about what's going on in other people's shit. Like my world is my world, nigga. I don't see that.
Yep.
Shit. I don't see that shit. So I don't give a fuck. I remember when we started the podcast. I'm not throwing like shade or anything, but I asked the nigga who jumped on here one time. I was like, yo, like, do you know these type of people around? Nope, you don't internet. That's not your fucking world. Stop worrying about other shit. Live in your shit and mind your fucking business. That's it. That's it.
I mean,
I don't give a fuck about what other photographers do.
And that's why I always say that I'm Switzerland here, because Don can attest to this. There's so much shit out there.
Yes.
And when you come to Mass Creations, and this is not a plug or a shameless promo, I'm Switzerland.
Yep.
I don't want any of that shit coming here. I don't care what happened at this studio. I don't care what happened at that studio. If you're here to work. You're here to create art. If you're not here for the right reasons, go the fuck your opposite direction. Because I am not the one. Because I have banned more models than any studio in the area. I do not.
I dated a girl who said that, like, yo, my last dude used to pay this and that. Well, bring that motherfucker back here and let me go. The fuck? I got time.
It's not an industry, it's a community. There is no oversight or regulation. Still, I agree with Jared. The whole idea is that it should be an industry. It started as an industry.
There used to be an industry standard.
There was always an industry standard. That's why if a model says, "Can I bring my significant other?" I only have 3 things to ask them. Are they going to be supportive? Are they going to allow us to work? And is it going to be an acceptable environment for you to work in?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care who you bring with you, but if they are going to disrupt the artistic integrity of what we're trying to do, they don't need to be here.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't mind other people being here. But you can't.
The very first meet and greet that I had, when I first started hearing about all this this nonsense that was going on, I told people, I was like, if you're coming to this meet and greet, I think it would be a good idea. Bring your mom and your dad with you. Bring your brother with you. I want people to really see what goes into this. I want them to witness how long it takes for a makeup artist to do somebody's makeup before the shot even gets taken. You know, they think it's easy work. So my first meet and greet that I had, I opened it up so that everybody could come to see how much work went into it. You know, the photographers were running around trying to adjust for the light changing because the clouds kept running in and out. And they were like, what do we do here? What makeup artists had to do to keep makeup from running. Identifying what blotter paper was and what it did. So people were like, oh, there really is a lot that goes into this. Like, it's not just taking pretty photos. There's a whole lot of stuff that happens in the background before you see that shot. And that's how I set up my first meet and greet, because if people actually knew what went into it, I think that would kind of get the industry back to where it needs to be, instead of, the GWC guy with camera thing.
Yeah, but there is an industry. The problem is that there's a subgroup, and that's what Charles means by community. If you're a hobbyist and that's all you're in it for, then you're in the photography community. You're not in the industry. You can only really be considered in the industry if you are getting paid regularly, or you are well on your way to be in a position where you're doing work for other people. Then you're in the industry side of it. And most people don't live in the industry side of it because they can't fucking figure out how to get into it. Or they don't have the skill set to get into it, even though they enjoy doing it.
Usually it's the skill set, because when and Scott can attest to this. 6 years ago, I had no fucking idea what TFP was.
He disappeared on us.
Yeah, he would do that. But 6 years ago, if you
He's like, bye, bitches.
Because I was like every other photographer that I ever met. I get paid to do this.
Like that. Right.
There's too many communities.
And I really didn't understand, but the whole idea is that, and this is the key, I wouldn't be indoctrinated and as far into the industry if I didn't embrace TFP and learn how that can build a community and build a relationship with makeup artists, photographers, stylists, hair, everything.
Just so y'all know, that's the only reason Jerry got into TFP in the first place. I had to talk him into it.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all gonna fight?
I'm not Jay. I'm not counting you at all.
Count you.
Jay said she wanted all the smoke. Said she did that shit first, Scott. He said she did that shit first, Scott.
That's the difference. Like, to me,
don't let her
training ground. But see, this is the whole idea, and this is why there's this difference between what me and Jay have done. Because when we both started off, I was a good photographer, but I wasn't a professional photographer.
And I ain't no squat.
And Jay was amazing model, who I saw as an amazing model, but we grew and learned together to the point where we went our separate ways and became better and came back and became better at what we did together.
She's an amazing model, is she?
Yeah, you would know.
But you know what? Like I said, we're never going to solve this conundrum. We're just adding our pieces into it. So what I want to do right now is just go around. At first, I definitely want to hit Grizz because we want to make sure that he tells us where we need to be on Wednesday nights. If you can be with us on Wednesday nights, go right ahead, Grizz.
All right. So every single Wednesday night we have, I guess this will be the relaunch of the new page of the Sophisticated Grizzly Podcast. 8:15 will be on YouTube. We will be on X, and we'll also be on Facebook. And to Wednesday's question, everybody get your popcorn ready for this one, because I'm asking police officers, if there were no guns available, would you still want to be a cop?
Oh, it's the base show?
Wow. That's a good question.
He do have hands.
I feel like Biz got hands.
And of course, we already know this, but it's simple and it's plain to see. Just when you want to talk to Don Brown, what do you have?
I'm with Dawn Brown everywhere you go.
That's it. And I mean, I know you are not in the people shooting business right now. You're in that amazing realm where you are creating amazing content right now. And I've been watching it, and it's fun.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
And I actually have little things that I do on the side that breathe that life into my work. So if you want to see what Dawn is doing besides shooting beautiful models underwater, it's at with Dawn Brown. And definitely check out what she's doing. I'm not going down 95, and Scott, Van, me, we immune to that. But we gonna come to the forefront here because we got body butters, we got scrubs, we got.
And it's getting hot, y'all, which means them feet's gonna be out, them legs gonna be out, you know, and Gucci Daddy short sayers now they out there. You know, it's like disease out.
You know, 78 today, you got on pants.
Listen, I've been moving.
That's why I whipped out the seersucker.
What?
Seersucker in right now.
It was raining.
I just put mine in the dry cleaner.
Damn right. See, you know.
I swim the whole way in.
Hey, I love you guys, but I have got to go into the gym. I've been sitting in the parking lot this whole time.
All right.
Go.
Love you.
Get that bakery going, girl.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, we'll see you, Charles, on Saturday. We'll talk.
Cool.
Yes, you can find me at j.more on Instagram for all of your body butter needs, body scrubs. We have shower gels. No, they are not handmade, and we have bath bars that are also not body made. But when I say they leave you squeaky clean, squeaky clean and feeling great. Come get your letters.
All right. So, as we say, thank you for coming into the Grown Man Clique podcast. We only have a couple things we want you to do. We want you to like, share, subscribe, hit that button so that you know when we're going live on YouTube and all, so that you can be a part of this amazing community. And we adore you. Please make sure you tell other people to come and see what we're doing. And as we say at the end of every podcast, do good. Do really good. But if you're going to do bad, do really bad so that they know that you meant it.